There is something important many people in the UK need to check before the 5th of April, and surprisingly, thousands of pensioners may lose money if they miss it. The worrying part is that most people don't even realise it is happening. This is not because they broke any rules or filled out a form wrong. It happens simply because many people never check their tax allowances before the end of the tax year. When allowances are not used, they disappear once the new tax year starts. So today we are going to break this down clearly. We will talk about how this works, who is most affected, and what simple steps people can take right now to avoid losing money that is legally theirs. Let's start our discussion. Many people at home might be thinking this sounds serious, but they may not fully understand what is actually happening. Before we go deeper into the numbers and the deadlines, let's explain the basic idea in a simple way. So my question is, why are so many pensioners in the UK losing money every year without even realising it? The main reason is that the UK tax system works on a yearly cycle. Each year, people are given certain tax-free allowances. These allowances allow you to earn or withdraw some money without paying tax on it. However, these allowances do not roll over into the next year. If you don't use them before the tax year ends on April 5th, they disappear forever. Many pensioners assume that the system automatically adjusts things for them. They believe that if they are owed something, they will get it later. But that is not how the system works. The system simply records what income you had during the year. If your income was lower than your tax-free allowance, you may have had space to take more money without paying tax. But if you did not take that extra amount before the deadline, that opportunity is gone. Over time, this can mean losing thousands of pounds in tax-free income. Now that we understand the basic idea, let's talk about the deadline itself because deadlines always matter when it comes to money. We hear a lot about April 5th, but some people still don't know why that date is so important. So let me ask, what exactly happens at midnight on April 5th, and why is it such a big moment for taxpayers and pensioners? April 5th marks the end of the UK tax year. When midnight arrives, the current tax year officially closes and a new one begins the next day. At that moment, all the allowances for the year reset. Your personal allowance, savings allowance, and other tax benefits start fresh again. Any unused portion from the previous year is wiped away. For pensioners, this matters a lot because many live on fixed incomes. Some people receive a state pension and maybe a small private pension. Their total income might be below the tax-free threshold. If they check their situation before April 5th, they might see that they still have unused tax-free allowance. That means they could withdraw a small amount from savings or a pension pot without paying tax. But if they wait until after April 5th, that chance disappears. So the deadline is important because it is the final opportunity to use what you already have available. Let's make this easier to understand with a real example, because numbers can sometimes feel confusing until we see them in a real situation. Many viewers may wonder if this actually affects people like them. So here is my next question. Can you explain how this works using a real-life example of a pensioner who still had unused allowance? Yes, a good example helps explain it clearly. Imagine someone named Zoe who is 72 years old. Her income this year includes a state pension of about £11,973 and a small private pension of £300. When you add those together, her total income is £12,273. Now we know the personal allowance is £12,570. That means Zoe still has about £297 of tax-free space left before she reaches that limit. If Zoe does nothing, that £297 simply disappears when the tax year ends. But if she checks her account before April 5th and withdraws £297 from a pension or savings pot, she can receive that money completely tax-free. This may not sound like a huge amount in 1 year, but over time it adds up. If someone misses £1,000 of allowance every year for 10 years, that could mean losing £10,000 of tax-free money they could have used. That is why awareness is so important. Now some viewers might be asking an important question. If this affects so many people, why doesn't the system automatically warn them or help them avoid losing money? So here is the next question. Why doesn't the tax system automatically tell people when they have unused allowances? This is a really important point to understand. The tax system is designed to calculate and collect the correct amount of tax based on the information it has. It is not designed to act as a personal financial advisor. That means it does not actively guide people on how to make the best use of their allowances. It simply records income and applies the tax rules. If your income turns out to be lower than expected during the year, the system will not suggest withdrawing more money to use your allowance. It just closes the tax year when the deadline arrives. In other words, the system is neutral. It works the same for everyone. People who understand the rules can use them to their advantage, while people who do not know about them may miss opportunities. This is why checking your tax account once a year can make a big difference. We've talked about the problem and how it happens, but what most viewers really want to know is what they should do next. So my final question is, what are the most important checks people should make right now to avoid losing money before the deadline? There are 3 simple checks that can help people protect their money. The first check is to look at your tax code. If you see codes like BR, 0T, or K on your pension or payslip, it could mean your tax is based on estimates. These codes are not always wrong, but they should be reviewed to make sure everything is correct. The second check is to add up your total income for the year. This includes your state pension, private pensions, earnings, and any savings interest. Once you know the total, you can compare it to the personal allowance of £12,570. If your income is below that level, you may still have tax-free space available. The third check is about savings interest. Some people may qualify for a higher amount of tax-free interest than they expect, especially if their income is low. In certain situations, retirees could earn more interest without paying tax than they realize. These checks only take about 15 minutes, but they could save hundreds of pounds. So today we learned something that many people across the UK are not aware of. Every year, when the tax year ends on April 5th, unused allowances disappear. For pensioners and people with lower incomes, this can mean losing money that could have been taken tax-free. The good news is that this situation can often be avoided with a simple check. Logging into your personal tax account, reviewing your income, and understanding your allowances can help you stay in control of your finances. The key message is simple. Knowledge gives you the power to keep more of your own money. A short check once a year could make a real difference over time. And if you know someone who might benefit from this information, it is always a good idea to share it with them. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe this channel.